A strategy must be simple, not simplistic. If it's not simple, then the concept cannot be easily retained from day-to-day reference and the usefulness is just lost. If it's too simplistic, then you risk missing something critical. And this book delivers exactly this strategy framework. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Teresa and I'm a product director based in Melbourne, Australia. And on this channel, we explore strategies and tools that inspire us to keep growing in our product career. Today, I'll share my key takeaway from the book, 7 Powers, the Fundamentals of Business Strategy. I will take you through what are these powers, their benefits and barriers, and what do you need to keep creating these powers. Before we begin, a bit about the author. Hamilton Hemler has spent his career as practicing business strategist, advising companies, investing in businesses on strategies and insights, and teaching strategy. He also has led over 200 strategy projects with major clients such as Adobe Systems, Netflix, and Spotify. Power number 1 is scale economies, a business in which per unit cost declines as production volume increases. If you take Netflix, for example, the more subscribers on their platform, the lower the cost they'll pay for their original and exclusive content. Now, the benefit here is cash flow will enhance across two folds. The first is actually enhancing value. You're able to charge a lot higher price to your customers. And the second is lowering your costs. So the more orders or the more subscribers that pay for your product, then over time, the cost of that product will actually be a lot less. Now, the barrier of entry for competitors in this power is that they might refrain from entering this power due to the expected outcome of being economically unattractive for them. So what must you do to create this power or sustain it? So while you're pursuing the scale economy power, you must at the same time offer up a product differentiating attractive enough to pull in customers and gain a relative share of competitive advantage. Power number 2 is network economies. A business in which the value realized by a customer increase as the install base increase. That is, the value of the service to each customer is enhanced as new customers join the network. For example, LinkedIn or Facebook, as more people use and share their information and get connected, the more valuable the platform becomes. Now, the benefit is that a company in the leadership position with this network economies can charge higher price than their competitors because ultimately it's their higher value due to more users. So if you looked at, for example, LinkedIn, the HR solution suite comes with a number of LinkedIn users. So LinkedIn can charge a higher price than their competitors who has fewer participants on their platform. Now, the barrier of entry for competitors is that this can be just unattractive cost benefit of gaining a share, and this can be extremely high competitive. Example, those who have a strong network economy may take all the share of the market, such as winner takes all. And then it'll be just super hard for those new entry businesses to come into the game. What must you do to create this power? This is very similar to the scale of economies. However, it needs more install base than sales. So you want more people to join your network and use your products instead of heavily driving a sales base to drive costs down. Power number 3 is counter positioning. A newcomer adopts a new superior business model, which the incumbent does not mimic due to the anticipated damage to their existing business. Pretty much a company intentionally takes a position to make their current business model the same as their competitor, which goes against their current business model. Now, the benefit here is that this new business model is a lot more superior to the current business model, which it could potentially drive lower costs or ability to charge a higher price. For example, if you look at Netflix, they envision a service where customers could rent DVDs online, have them delivered by mail, and return them without recurring costs as they're part of a subscription model. However, over time, the company has shifted their business model to an online streaming service, which actually impacts their current DVD business model. But this new business model has actually played out and is now shaping the modern entertainment landscape. The barrier of entry here for competitors is really unable to allow themselves to see change due to lack of vision or even poor management. This is because the counter position will likely have some form of damage to the existing business by introducing this business model. So if you look on the flip side, Blockbuster, they were unable to change their model when people are getting access to online content, which led to the company closing down. So what must you do to create this power or continue on sustaining it? You must pioneer a new and superior business model that promises collateral damage for incumbents if mimicked. This is probably one of the hardest power to consume and develop, as you are completely switching to a new business model that would damage and cause damage to the existing business. Therefore, a lot of risks will be taken here. Power number 4 is switching costs. The value loss expected by a customer that would be incurred from switching to an alternative supplier for additional purchases. That is when a customer's value is created across multiple purchases from a specific company over time. These can include repeat purchases of the same product or purchases of complementary goods from one company. Now, the benefit here, a company that has enabled switching costs for their current customers can charge a lot higher price than the competitors for equivalent products or services. These benefits would only build up if the company are selling follow-on products to their current customers. They hold no benefit with potential customers, and there is no benefit if there are no follow-on products. For example, looking at SAP or Atlassian offering to B2B to manage their data and workflows, the cost of switching would not only be high in terms of the system costs, but also the people's cost of relearning when it's been enabled into the company for a very long time. Now, the barrier of entry for competitors, this could be seen as unattractive if you're going against competitors that can adjust their pricing to put potential rivals at a price disadvantage. So what must you do to create this power? You must first attain a customer base, meaning it's the same new product requirements demanded of scale and network economies. Additionally, you must ensure that you are developing more add-on products to keep your customer from switching. Power number 5 is branding, the durable attribution of a higher value to an objectively identical offering that arises from historical information about the seller. This is about creating an asset that communicates information and evokes positive emotion in customers, leading to an increased willingness to pay for a product. The benefit here is that a business with branding can charge a higher price for it, as it's offering two things. One, positive brand association, and the second one is uncertainty reduction. Now, this means that brands' consistency of service or the product are a lot more predictable, and customers are more confident in purchasing. Example, most of your high-end brands like your Tiffany & Co, Louis Vuitton, people know the brand and they know the quality it can deliver, so therefore they would pay a higher price. Now, the barrier of entry for this power is that a strong brand can only be created over a lengthy period of reinforcing actions, which itself serves as a key of barrier. So what must you do to create this power or to sustain it? Over an extensive period of time, you must make it consistent creative choices that foster in the customer's mind that go beyond the product's attribution. Now, the second last power is cornered resources. Preferential access to attractive terms to a coveted asset that can independently enhance value. This is about having special resources such as the same people working together and sharing experience in the early trial years that have yielded one success after another. Example, the first 15 to 20 films of Pixar were successfully made as they had the same people working on it, such as John Lannister, Ed Catmull, and Steve Jobs, who were the pioneers of CGI in animation. Now, the benefit here is that creating appealing product with superior deliverables drives demand with attractive price, volume, and combinations. The barriers to entry here is that people's choice and loyalty of staying with the same company can be the barrier, as competitors may not have access to these talents. So what must you do to create this power and sustain it? You must secure the rights to a valuable resource on attractive terms. This often comes from having developed the resource in-house in the first place and gaining that ownership. Our last power is power number 7, process power. Embedded company organizations and activity sets that enables lower costs or superior products, and which can be matched only by an extended commitment. Now, the benefit here is that a company with the process power is able to improve the product attribution and lower the cost as a result of process improvement embedded within the organization. If you look at Toyota, has maintained a quality increase and cost reduction of their Toyota stock price over a span of decades. Now, these assets also does not disappear as new workers are brought in and older workers retire. The barrier entry of this power for competitors is that these processes are advanced and are difficult to replicate, and they can only be achieved over a long period of time of sustainable evolutionary advancements. So what must you do to create this power or sustain it? You need to evolve a new complex process which renders itself imitatable within a reasonable period, and yet offers significant advantage over a longer period of time. I highly recommend reading this book if you are developing and learning more about strategy in your day-to-day, especially if you are stepping into more of a senior position within the product management space. The book obviously goes into a very deep dive on each of the power and the formulas that you need to consider. Now, at the end of the day, it's all about value creation. What value does your business or product create for the end user that generates a business benefit? If you find this video helpful or inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you've got feedback and your insight around this book of 7 powers, please put in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.